Hey, all Kate here from Nimble Minecraft. Welcome back to another review. And today I'm doing a review for Jason Universe Sweet Revenge. Now, you may be very confused as to why I'm doing a review of a Friday the 13th and Steven Universe crossover fanfiction. Well, I'm not. And if you're confused about what Jason Universe is, allow me to explain. So, ever since the Friday the 13th lawsuit ended, the people behind it, along with a few other people, came together to make this new company, or I believe it's a company, called Jason Universe. This is basically a relaunch for Jason Voorhees himself. So basically, you can get like new games, new shows, maybe new movies. I don't know. The whole new movies thing is still a bit in the air, at least my knowledge. But yeah, honestly, I'm really glad that the people who started the lawsuit were able to like come to an agreement. That makes me very happy. And again, like I'm just happy to see Jason Voorhees back again. But yeah. So there's some things that I need to say before I actually start my review. One, this review is going to be a bit different from how I usually do my reviews, because usually how I do my reviews, it's like, I like talk about, like, give a short introduction, and I give, like, my pros, cons, mids. Basically, how this review is going to go is I'm going to talk about the film, and along the way I'm going to, like, talk about some things that are like, oh, this was good, and this was like, stuff like that. Second thing, if you want to see my full reaction of Jason Universe Sweet Revenge short film, then go down to my Patreon to watch it. Why did I make my reaction to this short film a Patreon exclusive? Well, it's mostly because, you know, I don't really want to deal with any copyright problems, especially since usually when people do, like, full-on reactions to, like, movies or shows, usually there are copyright problems, and I don't want to deal with that. So I just decided, you know what, I'll just make my full reaction Patreon exclusive. And also, you know, I made that as an incentive to go to my Patreon, because, you know, this dish needs money. But yeah. And finally, this short film was sponsored. Now, you're probably hearing that and being like, oh god, whatever this sponsor was probably forced the filmmakers to just cram the film with nothing but ads for the product. No, actually. And I'll talk about that in my review. Which is about right now. So yeah, this movie introduces us to our four main characters, technically one. I say technically one because we're really focusing on one of them. So our four characters consist of two males and two females. And one of the females, who is our main character, is in a relationship with one of the male characters, who is a African American man in a yellow hoodie. I don't know why I keep repeating things, I'm sorry. But, okay. So the movie doesn't like, shout in our face and say, look, they're married! They've been in a long relationship! It's subtle about it. It just, like, it shows us through frames of the movie that's like, oh yeah, these two have been in a relationship, and they clearly just got married. Which gives me the theory that the reason why these four are here at Camp Crystal Lake is to basically celebrate their marriage. Or the marriage of the main character and her boyfriend, at least. So, yeah. And again, obviously, if you're a Friday the 13th fan or know Friday the 13th, it's no spoiler to say that this short film takes place in Camp Crystal Lake. Hell, it's even shown near the end when, like, our main character is escaping the place. It shows, like, a sign for Camp Crystal Lake. But, besides that, so speaking of subtle, another subtle thing is the ads for the sponsor of this short film. And the sponsor of this short film is Angry Orchard, a alcohol brand. Now, again, when people hear, oh, this movie is sponsored by Angry Orchard, like, some people might think, oh god, you're going to have Angry Orchard advertising everywhere. Let me guess, is the short film going to end with Jason Voorhees cracking open the cold one with the boys? Well, no, actually, because just like the explanation of like our main character's relationship with her boyfriend, the advertising for Angry Orchard is quite subtle. Most of the time, the advertisements for Angry Orchard is just like someone holding a bottle of Angry Orchard. Like that's it. Like it's not too overly offensive. It's just subtle. It's just like, hey, look, this person is holding an Angry Orchard bottle. You should buy Angry Orchard. Which I'm not sponsored by Angry Orchard, obviously, and I don't drink alcohol either. I mean, if I could, I would, but I legally can't yet. But yeah. Besides that, our main character then meet this old man who seems to be the groundskeeper of Camp Crystal Lake, which is later explained to our main character when she and the old man meet up, and like obviously he's like explaining things about the land and like, oh yeah, the government or something wanted to try and tear down the land. And like, when you hear this, you think, hi, why is that? But then he immediately... Okay, he doesn't say it... Okay, he doesn't say it how I want to say it, but he essentially says, yeah, so there was this hockey mask wearing maniac who killed a lot of people here. Which, yeah, that's definitely a good reason why the government would want to get rid of a place if, you know, a maniac that can't die was living there. Which, yes, Jason in the short film is seemingly the undead version, where he's essentially immortal and could possibly fight Doomguy. Maybe, probably, yeah, definitely not. But, yeah, a little later, we see our main character by a little boardwalk just enjoying the outdoors. Because obviously, one of the greatest places to enjoy the outdoors is like somewhere nearby the lake. I've been to multiple places that are out at the lake. And they are very fun. I love them. They're nice. Which I know that sounds weird coming from me, a YouTuber who has a job of mostly sitting at their computer. So, but yeah. Besides that, yeah, she's just enjoying herself. But then the POV changes, and we get the POV through a weapon scope. So immediately when I saw this, I was like, holy shit, did they give Jason Voorhees a freaking crossbow? Which, we've seen Jason Voorhees use a bow and arrow, but we've never seen him use a crossbow. And you know, we almost did see him use guns in the 6th movie, but it was scrapped, so... Yeah. But anyways, yeah, we didn't, a little, like, a few seconds later, it revealed that, no, it's not Jason, it's actually the old man. Which, look, I'm not trying to stereotype, but of course the old man has to be a creep. And again, I'm not trying to stereotype and say that all old men are like that. It just seems in the Friday the 13th series and horror series in general that the old men are creeps for some reason. I'll get that. I don't know why. But, yeah. Then, like, a few seconds later, it shows her on a kayak, just enjoying the breeze, enjoying the air. It's quite nice. I did some kayaking once. It's quite fun. I recommend it. But, yeah. Then, when she approaches this one cabin and its little boardwalk, we hear a thud sound. In fact, we actually hear multiple thud sounds coming from under the kayak. And obviously our main character is confused because, you know, like, imagine you're out on the water kayaking and you just hear multiple thuds under the kayak. Yeah, personally, I would start to get worried. So, yeah, eventually she looks overboard, doesn't see anything. And then Jason does a classic Jason Voorhees approved move and appears from behind her and grabs her, pulling her underwater. It seems like, oh, he's killed our main character. As the camera then cuts to the two people, like, sitting outside of their cabin that our main character was outside, and like their necks were slit. So, yeah, that's another thing about this short film. Because, okay, if you're unaware of Friday the 13th, one of the things to know about Friday the 13th is the series does get quite gory. Now, please note, it's not as gory as Saw, and it is nowhere as gory as a Terrifier movie. But there is a decent amount of dismemberment and blood and gore that can happen in the Friday the 13th series. But yeah, it then cuts to it being night out, and to everyone's surprise, our main character is still alive. Although she is looking a tad bit dead, specifically with like her under her eyes looking like a bit sunken in. But I'll get to that later. But yeah, surprisingly, she's still alive, and like she makes her way back to the cabin, and we get to see more of Jason's victims. We see like some of his victims like literally like sliced in half and like being held up by like the clotheslines that you would see at places like this. I don't know. But yeah, it's really gory. And again, obviously that's something that makes Friday the 13th, like it's an R-rated horror series. So what would you be expecting? But then our main character makes it to the house of the old man who informed her about Jason Voorhees, and when she goes in, she sees what the rest of us see as a pretty cliche horror scene. Now you might be thinking, Kate, what are you talking about? Okay, so there is this type of horror scene that in my opinion, and hopefully other people's opinions, is basically a scene where like there's like a character turned around and not facing this one character and they're standing up, and like the other character goes to check on them, and then when they turn them around, like it's revealed that they're dead, and it's like, wait, how long have they been dead? How were they able to stand there for so long? And it's just horror movie logic. I don't know why I complain about this stuff, because again it's just horror movie logic, and of course it's going to be broken. But yeah, she's all horrified, but then she hears a scream, and she decides to grab herself a machete, and she heads back to the cabin where her and the 3 other people were residing at. Once she gets there, she discovers a devastating scene, or at least devastating to her. We discover that her boyfriend, or husband, considering her ring, is cheating on her with one of her friends. What? Cheating? In a horror movie? My God, I never thought this was possible. Okay, sarcasm aside, it's revealed that her boyfriend/husband is cheating on her. And obviously, she's quite destroyed about this. But then Jason Voorhees appears, and this is where we fully get to see his new design. Now, I need to quickly talk about something with Jason Voorhees' design. So, when Jason's design was first shown off, there were a bunch of people who claimed that it looked AI-generated and stuff like that. Which, I mean, maybe, especially since, like, one of the pictures, like, had Jason have this weird tattoo on his hand. But I'm hoping it wasn't AI-generated, because that would hurt a lot. But, we get to see his new design, his new mask. Looks pretty decent. It's a bit basic to me, but besides that, looks pretty decent. But yeah, Jason picks up our main character, holding her by the throat, or neck, and he throws her through the window. A classic Kane Hodder move. And no, Kane Hodder doesn't play Jason in this short film, sadly. Hopefully he gets a return as Jason at some point. But, this scares everyone in the cabin. They're all freaking out. And, like, the boyfriend and the other girl are, like, pretending that nothing happens. Like, oh no, what's wrong? And the boyfriend's like, don't worry, honey, I'm here for you. And, like, Jason vanished. So, teleportation. So this is clearly zombie Jason, at least. So, but then a knock at the door, multiple hard knocks at the back door happen, and the boyfriend of the main character goes to check it out, only for the door to literally fly open and fall on the boyfriend, and he's all trapped. But here's the thing. Before this happened, we got a scene where Jason Voorhees grabbed a boat motor. So when Jason comes in, we see him wield a boat motor. And to say that I may or may not have wet myself would be an understatement, because we rarely get to see Jason Voorhees use a motorized weapon. The only other time where Jason Voorhees used a motorized weapon was in Part 8. Wait, no, part 7. I don't know, I'm getting my parts all confused, I'm sorry. I was correct. Part 7. Yeah, in Part 7, he used a weed whacker. Something, I think it was a weed whacker. Some sort of weed whacker against, like, this corrupt therapist guy. Yeah, anyways, back onto, the short film review. So yeah, Jason Voorhees uses this boat motor to absolutely obliterate the head of the cheating boyfriend/husband. And honestly, yeah, that guy deserved it. He cheated on his girlfriend/wife of who knows how long. But obviously, when the normal person sees this, they immediately start to freak the fuck out. So yeah, everyone's freaking out. One of the other male characters runs out, but Jason like rips out like the blade part of the boat engine and throws it into the back of the other male character like a freaking ninja star. And obviously we don't see the guy get back up, so yeah, that killed him. And also, they don't do his back, and usually something that a hit like that in the back, paralyzation. So maybe he could be alive, probably not. Well, yeah, he then stabs his machete through the chest of our main character, and he then goes for the attack on the cheating girl character, who gets her face pressed in with an apple core. Yeah, with one of those apple core things. Which, when the shot was happening, at first I thought, oh, he's going to use a actual apple core to kill someone. Which, considering his strength, something that is possible. But it's revealed that our main character has somehow survived being stabbed in the guts by a machete. And, she slowly pulls it out, and she is able to strike Jason from behind, impale him from behind. Well, obviously, this is undead Jason. He's still alive. But yeah, thankfully, the cheating girl isn't too hurt for someone who had, an apple core pressed into her face. But yeah, she leaves for the car, but before our main character follows, she takes a knife. I think you might know what's going to happen to the other female character. So yeah, eventually, the cheating female character gets in the car and can't find the keys. But then our main character comes over with the keys, and everything seems to be somewhat normal. It's like, oh hey. She's not mad at her other female friend. She's totally not mad about it. Even she's looking quite dead and also being quite mute about everything. And the two drive off. We see Jason walk out of the cabin because again, trying to kill Jason Voorhees is like trying to kill the Doomslayer. It's kind of fucking impossible. But, besides that, so, as they're driving off, the cheating girl character is, trying to say sorry for everything, and obviously not dealing with this well. Our main character proceeds to stab her in the gut, or somewhere in the throat, or somewhere in the upper area. We don't really get to fully see it. We only get to see, the knife goes through the chair with blood, and then the car crashes. The main character is still alive as she comes out of the car and turns around to see Jason Voorhees standing, not near her, but, standing from afar, but not too far. And she is holding her knife, and Jason is holding a machete, and he slowly approaches her. And it seems like we're going to get a final fight. Then the movie ends. Yep, it ends on a cliffhanger. A cliffhanger that we're probably not going to get resolved, but the chances are Jason won. Because obviously, unless you're the Doomslayer, your chances against fighting Jason are pretty damn slim. So, yeah. That was Jason Universe Sweet Revenge. Honestly, this was a pretty good short film. The Angry Orchard advertisements were quite subtle. They weren't really in your face, thankfully. Some of the other things were also quite subtle, with like telling us like the relationship of our main character and like hinting at like, oh yeah, this place is Camp Crystal Lake, because at first it's like, oh hey, maybe this could be like a different place on the lake, but then later on in the film it's like, nope, this is Camp Crystal Lake. But yeah, honestly, I quite like this. So yeah, I'd also give this short film 6 out of 7 stars. So yeah. If you watch this short film, feel free to tell me your thoughts about the short film in the comment section below, because again, I love the interaction. So, anyways, that was it for this video. Make sure you all subscribe and like for more, and I'll see you all later. Peace out from Dark, and goodbye!